Yes, we welcome back to another episode on that Gunners Talk, and we're here to preview, to be honest, what is for a lot of fans a do or die game, but for not Arsenal fans, it's still a massive game, regardless of the context you look at it. Arsenal taking on Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, a ground that has been very topsy turvy, but we've managed to get some good results there over recent years under Mikel Arteta. But first of all, KP, talk to me about your feelings going into this game because we know it's not going to be an easy game off the back of some poor form, and it's going to be a tough one, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Steph, it's always a pleasure talking ball with you. First of all, if you're new or you're returning, you haven't already, smash the subscribe button to both Gunner Street and Cape House Pauser. We're both on the road to
Already know.
1,000 subs. Smash the subscribe button to some Arsenal fans that know how to keep their pause and karma amongst or your and yeah, comment down below your thoughts, your lineups, your predictions, and everything. But yeah, big game,
100%.
London Derby. I don't like Chelsea. I've never liked Chelsea in my life. Obviously, I like some of their players in the team. They're coming up well, but I think where we're in a bit of bad form, a lot of teams think we're like easy bait, or obviously it is the best time to play us, but other teams are underestimating how good we can be. And I think we need a performance just to remind the world, remind us ourselves in terms of the players and the fan base, like fam, who we are, man. Like fam, you don't a little bit of form doesn't take away all the work you put in, the quality you have, and the things you can do. And in terms of a bit of underwhelming performances, so I'm feeling good. I'm like anxious about the game, but I'm confident because I know what this team does when their back is against the wall. This new version of Arsenal. So yeah, man. How about you? How you feeling for this game?
Um, Going into this game, no, I won't lie. I went into the Inter Milan game fearing that we could have a bit of a slip up. But I think no, with Martin Odegaard back, and I don't want to put all the pressure on Martin Odegaard, but I think that has to force a change somewhere. That has to cause something to move on and change somewhere. I didn't think for me for a long time. I didn't think Trossard was working in the 10. And I didn't think a few players were playing out of position, like Timber at left back. We didn't really see the best of Timber. We didn't really see the best of that left hand side, which I mean, I don't want to make excuses for him, but it affected Martinelli's play, and that causes a lot of fans in this fan base to don't look at Martinelli a type of way. Now, KP, going into this game, we both came up with an 11 that we'd want to see. KP, we can kind of go into the 11s and then kind of talk about any changes we make. KP, give me your 11 first. Let me know what you'd possibly be going with in this game because, like I said, it's a massive game. We've talked for a lot of weeks about different positions we like to change. So let me hear what you're going with for this massive game at Stamford Bridge.
And just before I show my lineup, Steph, yeah, another reason, like obviously these things can work against you as well. We haven't lost at Stamford Bridge in the league since 2018. I just went to go and look back,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
6 years, bro. Like,
I remember we
where
won there 4-2,
yeah, we won
and you
there.
scored.
We
We
drew.
won.
We
We
drew
drew
there
there
last year.
last
The season
season.
before we won 1-0. The season before we won 4-2. The season before we won
Gabriel
1-0.
1-0. I remember Gabriel had the header.
Yeah. Then we had another draw where Martinelli got
Yeah,
the
with
Kante.
Kante fell.
Like so, and yeah, I remember Bellerin scored a mad goal. Like so, it's just in general. Like I think it's not. I'm saying it's a stomping ground, but I think the pressure of these away grounds, especially the big team, I don't think it soaks up Arsenal. Arsenal kind of know how to stay even kill. So even in amongst bad form, as you said, Odegaard is back. Hopefully, he gets a start. And in general, I think the team know like you don't want to leave a sour taste in their own minds, the fans' minds, and everyone going into the international break where
Yeah,
we have
and
two
it's
weeks.
also another thing there. We haven't lost to a top 16 in like almost 2 years. Like, we've been undefeated against the top six for a long while now. So that's something I know the fans definitely want to keep, but definitely the players are absolutely having their mind on. And
Yeah,
that's
for
been a
sure.
criticism of Arsenal, focusing on having better concentration for the bigger games compared to like the smaller games. And that's something that they've been lamented at the site before. Does that like subconsciously play into your mind as well?
Yeah, I think like naturally, like I think I used to kind of like uh I say in 2022, 23, I kind of just used to kind of go into most teams thinking, okay, Arsenal gonna win. Last season, I kind of had the same kind of confidence, especially where our
Mhm.
defense became so solid. So it was like, okay, cool. But the problem that I had was where now it's like I've seen Arsenal have a bit more concentration, a bit more focus, a bit more
Yeah.
like just say even when you look at Inter, we lost that game by a penalty, which is unlucky. But in terms of like just giving them clear cut chances, how Arsenal look concentrated, I feel like
Yeah.
yeah, like I think we look good still. So I am more confident, yeah, got in the big six game, knowing that the concentration levels all around the board will be more in your focus compared to a smaller game. But yeah, let me show you my lineup. I don't think it's too different to what you have.
Okay, you have Rice in there. That's interesting. That's definitely a talking point we can get
Yeah,
to.
1 second. So yeah, so obviously I'll quickly just show yours as well, just to reiterate the fact that which I'm making,
Mhm.
because uh, so yeah, so the main difference between our two teams is that I went with
Moreno
Rice,
at the left
I
eight.
went with Rice
You went with
at
Moreno.
the left eight, and obviously you went with Marino, as you can see on screen, at the left eight. So obviously, I think the difference with me that I'm just having a feeling because I saw the report come out midweek. Obviously, that doesn't mean that it's gonna happen, but I'm like, the report won't be coming out where Rice is gonna potentially make it for the game. I'm like, they wouldn't risk a toe if it's broken or if it's like damaged for him for just this one game for him to be out for longer, unless Arsenal want to
Yeah.
kind of use that to maybe see if he doesn't go international break because he did get called out to the England squad. At the same time, if he's not fit, Marino should be the next port call because Arsenal need those legs
Yeah.
in that midfield. And even though Marino doesn't have exactly the same legs as Declan Rice, but he still has enough legs that it compensates for everyone else in our team. And just looking at our
Yeah.
lineup, obviously both Zinchenko left back, Timber right back, which obviously I always like to have more the left footed on the left side, right footed right side. Obviously Timber right, you could have really chose who could have started on the right in my opinion, but I would want to see Timber in this game and
Mm.
give Ben White the rest as well. Well, not the rest, but I put him to come on the bench, I should say, in second half. And yeah, put Party back in the 6, and everyone picks themselves. Like I like this team, man. I think it's with Odegaard back in. That's the main thing, man. That's
Yes,
that's the
definitely.
main thing. What do you think about this? Like your lineup? What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of discussion over the Arsenal fan base over this positions, put players in their best positions. Again, you can argue and say, is Urian Timber's best position left back or is his best position right back? I mean, so far, I think we've seen the best of him at right back, especially in a more dual point of view in terms of going forward and defensively. I think that leaves a big hole at the left back position. I back Zinchenko to come in, do a job, and give us some control alongside Partey and Odegaard, who have a familiarity of playing together. Same thing with Martinelli. Hopefully, we bring something, some kind of like tandem or some kind of chemistry back to that left hand side because the left hand side was missing that dynamic of getting down the left hand side, putting balls in first time and early if we're gonna cross it, or just even linking up play overall. But like you talked about, I think the biggest thing is Declan Rice. The broken toe. I haven't heard any updates personally on if he will be ready for the game. You could probably let me know, but I haven't heard anything about if Declan Rice will be ready. So, which is why I just first of all went with Marino because I think same thing. It's also another profile we talked about from the 22-23 season. Left-footed, left-sided 8, alongside the left-footed playing left back who's going to invert and help Martinelli on that left-hand side and really maximize his game and allow him to run in behind and not play so touch tight to the line all the time. But ultimately, like you touched on, KP, the biggest thing from this side has to be Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka. How can we re-establish that? How fit is Martin Odegaard? Can he bring that creativity to us, even if it's just 30%? Because at the same time, yes, we look void of ideas, but in some games this season we still scored goals. We still look pretty dangerous with Bukayo Saka on that side. So can he just give us a little bit more before the international break, and then we can hopefully build into a rhythm once we come back? But yeah, no doubt about it. I think Martin Odegaard has to be like the biggest outlier in this team.
Yeah, but just to make just on a few points before we wrap it up, like why I want Zinchenko on the left and Timber on the right. Obviously, I think Timber, especially in these big games where it's more 1v1 defending, more dual like your matchup instead of it being like a low block versus low block and stuff. Like so, I'm assuming whether it's Neto or it's Mudryk out there that he's going to be facing. Like I expect him to in the duels and his 1v1 defender to handle it, and then also going forward whilst he's on his right, he's a bit more comfortable. He provides that overlap constantly and that underlap constantly that allows Saka to have more avenues to attack. And with Odegaard now being in that right channel, Chelsea can't just double team on Saka because if you're leaving Odegaard free to have space of the pitch, now it's not just like Trossard, no disrespect to Trossard or someone else that the team not really fretful of them in certain areas of the pitch. And then with the left-hand side, as I said, I think Martinelli kind of had a decent game against Inter Milan. I'm not saying the best, but I don't think he was definitely not one of our worst players. He was definitely isolated a lot. One thing I realized that there was no players around him and no overlapping from Timber in any type of way to kind of provide him, apart from a couple of attacks.
He doesn't really want to get down on that left foot, and a lot of times when he did get down there to help, he was cutting back on his right to
Yeah,
put
it's
in the
coming back,
ball.
which is why it's painful having him there. Like it's nice to have Zinchenko who knows how to play in that two man deep pivot with Partey a lot of chemistry there in this kind of game where we know there's going to be a lot of spaces in between the lines because Chelsea are not just going to sit in a low block. Would be nice. And then having Marino, who we naturally said is going to be that starting left 8 to kind of help Martinelli have a bit more better angles and bias. Like having them having more games together, but with Zinchenko now, where okay, it's not Calafiori, but you still have the left-footed ball playing type player that can allow that triangle to kind of grow. I'm excited to see, man. I'm expecting big games from our attackers. I don't think they were as impressive in terms of just their output and their threat against Inter Milan as they could have been. And I think there's a game where I feel like I want to see them rectify that.
Two things one thing, and then I'll ask you my main question. First thing, I hope also with this Martin Odegaard coming back, I hope it changes Kai Havertz's role in the squad. I like Kai Havertz when he was more of a target man position guy where he gets on the ends of things and he works hard up there for us. Yes, but he's more so like get on the end of it and do the dirty work kind of guy and stay essential because we've proven that we can create a lot of chances, and just having a focal point up there already to just take the attention off the right hand side so much instead of drawing more players out there, it makes it 1000% easier for Bukayo Saka to get free and create space, and for Odegaard to get free and create space down that side and put balls and put chances into the box. But the main thing I wanted to ask you about those lineups that we selected, honestly, KP, they're probably going to be what most Arsenal fans won't go with, especially at the fullback positions. A lot of fans, and maybe even Mikel Arteta, might want to go Jurrien Timber and Ben White in the team. We talked about why that would be detrimental to the team as we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. What do you think Mikel Arteta would go with? What changes do you think Mikel Arteta would make?
I think he would probably go with that back four. And I'm not really mad if that back four plays because it is a tough ground. They do have maybe potentially Palmer, who's questionable for the game. Madueke, the threats, obviously, to have a right-footed player playing left back to help compensate that is fine. But I think where I'm just tired of our Arsenal worrying too much about the opposition's threats and not trying to benefit our own self and how we can beat another team. I want a team that is focused more on us. So whether Mikel chooses this team, obviously we've seen he's used Zinchenko a lot as a first sub or one of the first subs when he's in the last 3 or 4 games now to come on when he fit. So clearly he knows that he's in his mind. I know he knows what he can bring to the game. So I'm hoping from the start, maybe given the type of game it is, will Mikel try it. But yeah, Steph, before we go, your predictions on the game.
Yeah, 100%. For me, I've been one on this channel who's been confident to come in here and I've give 3s, 4s, 2s. I've given any kind of number you could possibly think about. Chelsea, like you said, is a game we haven't lost to in a few years, but we are in poor form and we do have players coming back. But I'm not expecting us to set the world on fire, but I am expecting a response from certain players. I do expect Bukayo Saka to be a difference maker in this game and really put this debate between Cole Palmer to bed. And I think a lot of fans are going to wake up to it. We've seen against Liverpool the magic this player could turn on. I got a goal and an assist Bukayo Saka performance in a 2-1 victory, honestly. I said 2-1 because I just think it's something going to be dodgy. Either we give away a stupid goal or we give away a stupid penalty. I just say 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, I think Chelsea are a respectable team. They're in good form. They're above us in the league currently on goal difference. So it's not like they have quality players. So, do you know what I mean? The likes of Lavia and Caicedo in that midfield, Palmer, Madueke up front, Jackson, I like him as a footballer. They got nice team. Like, this not obviously, I think they have weaknesses as well, but they have a nice team. But I think Arsenal, I need them a reaction. I've probably been calling for this for the last week or so because we've had a lot of, outside of Preston, poor results. But I expect us to have a reaction as a game that I expect us to play well. And I think Chelsea will kind of low-key feed into our hands. I feel like their home crowd are going to expect them to kind of take the game to us. They're going to expect them to be on the front foot, to try and, be attacking. And I think where I don't expect Arsenal to just be completely have the ball and we're not going to do anything. But I think where they're going to leave space in behind 1v1s against their defenders and, their keeper who isn't necessarily the best, I think it will play into Arsenal's hands. I think if they adopted more of a low block and made it more frustrating for Arsenal, I think it would prove to be their best chance of beating them.
Which I don't they do.
So I'm going to 3-1, obviously better than just 2-1. I think I do expect a Saka performance as well. I think whether a question. It's not nail in pin that Odegaard is going to start, even though Mikel Arteta's press conference yesterday where he mentioned about everyone apart from, I think it was Havertz and Marino, just because of their head injuries, but he said they're fine anyways. Everyone that is apart from Rice is in contention to start. So when he's giving me that information, that means Odegaard is ready to start. He probably has been ready to start. He probably don't want to risk him against Inter just to give him that full game against Chelsea. But yeah, especially where he's not going international break as well. You don't have to worry about even if he has a little setback, a little knock or tightness because he has a week or 2 weeks to rest. So yeah, 3-1 to me. Arsenal
quickly
win.
Before you close, I want to ask one more question. Like you said, Odegaard is in contention to start. Let's say Odegaard can only give you 60 minutes. If Odegaard can only give me 60 minutes, Nwaneri has to play the next 30. I'm sorry. Nwaneri has to play the next 30.
If Odegaard can play 60 minutes, then the first subs I'm making is Jesus for Havertz and Nwaneri for Odegaard, just to freshen up the dynamic.
Why Jesus for Havertz specifically?
Because I think where I want Nwaneri to be very, very much in between the lines. I think just having Jesus has been looking good. I think even against Inter, I think he came on, he just made us look better. I'm not saying he brought anything. I think there's just a natural, and I think there's a natural sense of just keeping the game fresh. I don't expect when we do take up Odegaard that we might still be winning, but it's just to bring more of a freshness to the game. And whilst you bring Nwaneri in the pocket, I think a player like Jesus who will enjoy playing with a player like that 1-2s in between the lines, someone that you can trust, intricate play. It would just be nice to refresh it and give an opportunity just to give Chelsea another option to think about, other than change the game state in it, because Jesus offers different things than Havertz does, and the same thing with Nwaneri, in my opinion, to Odegaard. So I think it would just be nice. That can include as well a triple sub, maybe put Sterling back on in his. Well, I don't think he can play because he's on loan. Actually, he actually can't play. So yeah, he's actually he can't play in this game.
Oh yeah, Sterling can't play. Yeah, Sterling can't.
So yeah, so bring on Trossard for Martinelli. Let him have a maybe an Aston Villa moment where he comes on, gets a third goal in my prediction, and then does a little
third goal for Trossard. Look at you. Trossard for his goal.
Hey, I love Trossard. Don't get me wrong. I love Trossard, fam. I just don't think he should start like, for example, I love Jorginho. I don't think Jorginho should start every single game. If he starts every game, I don't mind. But if he has these fluctuations in performance, I expect it, because I don't think he's the starter at the level we're at right now for 38 games in a season. With saying that, that's why I think there can be dips in these conversations. And obviously, Trossard's been used in left, right, false 9, 10. So it's not like he has a certain position that he's coming in, cash money, and you know what I mean. So yeah, but yeah, that's me, Steph. Arsenal should win the game, and that's me, fam.
That's me too. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section down below. Let me know your score predictions. Do you think Arsenal will win this game, draw this game? Hopefully, you're not watching this channel saying Arsenal will lose. But let me know, leave all your thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know your starting 11 opinions down below. What do you think about the left back and full back situation in totality? What would you do with both Timber, Ben White, Zinchenko, whoever name you want to throw in there, Muzzle with Skelly, if you're of that opinion? What do you think about the number 6 position? Odegaard coming back, because Saka, Martinelli. Leave all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're both on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're watching from Cape House Plaza or you're watching from Gunners Street, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join the family for both channels. Without further ado, people, thank you for all your love and support. And I'll catch you next.